Welcome back, everybody, to the Talking Wolves podcast. We're here for it's the first one of the 1920 season. My name is Dave, and as always, I've got two guests with me. I've got Tom from the Old Gold and Black channel. Tom, how's it going?
Great, thanks.
Good. I've asked him this time because I think last time I forgot,
didn't
did you? Matt, how's it going?
Precious, aren't you? Yeah, I'm good, mate, thank you.
Good. So today we've actually got quite a bit to talk about. I think it's been a couple of months since our last podcast. So we're going to be talking all about transfers, pre-season so far, Laurie Dalrymple, kits, questions, everything. So let's start with the football. Asia Trophy. I mean, timing was a bit awkward with the kick-off times, but did either of you watch it or get the highlights?
I've not been home since we've won it.
Just come back from the Open Top Bus tour.
I watched the Newcastle. I didn't watch either of the games live, which was a disadvantage really, and fell asleep yesterday while watching the final.
Is it that boring?
Well, I was just really tired. I woke up for the penalties and then fell asleep again before they started, so can't give an honest reflection on that, really.
Matt, did you watch it yesterday?
I fell asleep, sounds right. I saw the penalties though. I saw Patricio get booed in the face.
Yeah, I saw that, but I saw the first half.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first game, were you expecting us to get a 4-0 win, 4 goals, or do you think it was going to be much slower?
I think after the first 5 minutes they expected more than 4 because Newcastle absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
I think similar, as people have mentioned it, like how we lost to Derby last year and Shrewsbury the year before, how we're clearly a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead of everybody else in terms of preparation and fitness and everything else. You could see that clearly as Newcastle.
Well, they kept saying that on Sky that we'd had X amount of weeks or X amount of days, but apparently they went into pre-season the day after that we did.
Yeah, but I think we've played more games. Not
sort
that
of behind closed doors.
I think there's 2 I think that everybody knows about, but there's probably more than that as well. Huddersfield and Warsaw, I think we played.
I heard about that one, Warsaw. Yeah.
I don't know what happened in the Warsaw game, but Huddersfield 2-2 draw.
Well, if Warsaw had won, we wouldn't have been the last of it anyway.
Well,
so obviously pick up 3 points.
Yeah. So just in terms of fitness, I think that's what we've got to be impressed by. In that heat and the humidity to play. Lots of them played 90 minutes twice, didn't they, in a few days. Cody, did he play?
Yeah, and Bennett.
Bennett, yeah, I think so as well.
I know the goalkeeper didn't have to do much, but Patricio played 90 minutes yesterday, didn't he? And the same substitutions being made at the same times as well. Telling as well for the Europa League next week.
I thought not Newcastle was so bad. I watched the Newcastle game at work. Obviously incognito, different tab.
Google Chrome.
I thought they were absolutely outstanding Wolves. I thought they were unbelievable, but Newcastle were very, very, very bad. Like John Jones Selby, mate.
I can't believe.
I can't believe he's still there.
I can't believe they managed to beat West Ham. Yesterday
it
just shows how bad West Ham. I don't know what sort of team they put out.
It was a pretty strong team as well, West Ham. But yeah, I think you're right. Like in those temperatures of a first game, obviously they're done all that fashion bollocks and stuff like that, which we may talk about later. But yeah, to go straight into that.
Some of them guards wavy, don't they?
They did really well. I mean, the Newcastle defending was suspect, but yeah, it's a couple of the chances, and Jota and Morgan Gibbs-White did quite well together up front, I thought, in that first half.
I think somebody mentioned it as well earlier this week about how we struggled against these lower teams last year to score goals. I can't remember too much of that Newcastle game, but I think we had many more chances than the 4 goals that we scored.
Yeah.
We were clinical, and if we can do that against these teams that we're going to struggle against, we did struggle against last season, then we should be looking to improve.
There's a great finish from Gibbs-White though.
Yeah.
One thing that's really annoying me is it's his first goal for the club.
I know.
It's not.
Pre-season friendly.
It's a pre-season friendly. Happy to have a first team. It's not.
Unless they're trying to get that monkey off his own back, because it's something that he's worrying about and that he's making a deal of. If they're saying, yeah, that's your first goal, go on, crack on.
Yeah. I hope he can, because we know he's got the ability and stuff, and obviously he's definitely got the potential. I know he didn't really probably get as many consistent minutes as he would have wanted towards the second part of last season, but I think if you could say it sort of worked, this sort of experiment with him up top with Jota against Crusaders, I don't think it's going to do him any harm if he starts that again. Similar sort of team that
he's got everything. The only thing he really lacks is a bit of pace. He's just.
Someone said that to me as well, but like, I remember against Chelsea, he went on that run, and the way
he's
he
got
was
quick
sort of
feet, but he's not blistering. He's just.
He can get away from somebody in the first yard and find himself some space. There was a point yesterday where he put the ball through for Traore, who should have done better really, but he's clearly got an understanding of the game that's beyond
his vision's unbelievable. I think as well.
He's a cracking player in there, but I think what gets him away from his man is just his quick feet. But I just don't know. Just he lacks a bit of pace. But for these last 2 games were really good, especially against Newcastle, like a different player.
Yeah,
because they're on about clubs were interested in loaning him. I think mainly Championship clubs last year, and Wolves have said no. Yeah, because to be fair, I said I wouldn't mind loaning him out, because if you know you're going to get him consistent 90 minutes or 60, 70 plus minutes at whatever level, as long as it's half decent, he's going to grow.
I don't think we've got a player similar to Morgan.
I think that just because of the size of the squad, he's not going anywhere. No, we can't afford to lose somebody else who can add. 20 minutes
who can actually add something.
Yeah.
If he plays against, like he did against Newcastle, not if he played against away.
Well, I asked about the transfers on Twitter as well. Someone said he still thinks another senior player is going to go, and I thought surely they won't get rid of anyone from that team now.
Maybe John Rudder.
Big John.
We're cashing on him now.
Yeah, you probably get 2 or 3 million for him,
he's got a Premier League medal.
They said on Sky yesterday he's got the most Premier League appearances for, out of the Wolves squad. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Assuming Bennett wasn't at the beginning of last season that had 100 or so between the two.
Yeah.
You seen that video of Bennett in the press conference?
Yeah. He sits down.
Fucking hell.
I found it so funny to watch those. I watched almost all the press conferences.
I've seen some of the
because they were twice as long
as
they should have been.
Yeah.
And Nuno's just sitting there like. Did you see the clip of they tried to ask him a question
about the Chinese Super League?
Yeah, and he was going, "Sorry, I wasn't listening." First of all,
yeah.
and then he says it again. He goes, "I don't understand. Can somebody translate for me?" And they went, "He's asking about Chinese."
Yeah, he goes, "I don't manage in China."
One of the journalists asked Jota like what clothes he wears.
Adidas.
Who are you wearing?
Lots of Adidas.
Let's see. There was a clip where obviously the reporter was talking in Chinese, and Cody and Nuno were just sat there like they're just looking around, like waiting for the translator. Yeah.
Looking well, mate.
Well, quickly we move on to the City game as well. I actually think we did quite well there, didn't we? I mean, a City team that had just smashed 4 past West Ham a few days prior. And we defended. I know we were quite deep and invited a lot of pressure, but we defended very well and got exactly what we wanted, really, in the end, didn't we?
We made more chances than we did when we played them in the league in January on the break. But we did what we did what we'll have to do against Man City in the league this year is just wait and try to just keep them out as long as possible and hope for a 0-0. I don't think we're gonna be able to score. It's not like Liverpool, the only team really who can threaten them. It's by that. Rush in attack. We can't do that with loads of players because we'll get caught on the counter.
That game we played when we were in the Championship, though, that was really similar.
Yeah.
In terms of.
When we were in the league, yeah. It was.
We should have won that though.
Yeah. Still. Because they were. It was very similar though, because you were right there. We were playing a high line, and obviously a lot of our chances came through Adama, who was actually playing at the back. But when he ran at them, I think he created a chance. In a couple of chances in the second half, one over the top to Morgan and Jota were both waiting there. Morgan took it, poor touch. There was another one as well, but he even in the first half he looked good. The way he was running round. I mean, there have been a lot of questions about Adama. How do you think he settled into this right wing back role?
Well, he'll look good against lower teams, but I thought yesterday he gave the penalty away, didn't he? And didn't look particularly. I think he's going to get exposed when he's playing against Leroy Sané. So he's not good defensively, but against worse opposition going forward and stuff, he's going to cause all sorts of problems.
What do you think, Matt?
Play anywhere.
Play anyway.
His boyfriend. No, I especially against Newcastle, he's probably our best player. I think. Just
one of them, yeah, definitely.
He's unbelievable. The way he just runs with a ball, now the Chinese supporters are like.
Yeah.
Every time you do a step over, Vinagre as well yesterday.
But you can tell that they've worked and worked and worked. But he's got that attitude, like you said, he wants to learn and he wants to develop. And he came through the ranks at Barcelona in the same team as Messi. Yeah. If that was me, I'd be like, fuck off, I'm not playing right wing back. I'll do what I want. I was at Barcelona, but which wasn't true because I was at Sociedad. But he wants to learn, and I think they have done that with him. His decision making's a lot better. He was on the ball a few times down the right hand side, and there was some space to run in, but 2 players towards him. But he come back and passed it off. last season, I think, because of the minutes he was getting, 10 minutes at the end, he wanted to just try and do as much as he can. So at right wing back, I don't think his future is there against the big teams, but there's absolutely no way why he couldn't play right wing back against 12 or 13 other teams in the league, because he caused some problems and defensively didn't look horrendous. But going forward, fantastic.
I think he surprised a lot of people with how, not well, but well, I suppose it was how well he'd coped. I think we were waiting for a disaster to happen, especially yesterday against Manchester City, where for the majority of the game, obviously you were right, it was against a pre-season Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling. He coped fairly well. I mean, obviously he committed the penalty and so on, but going forward, it's frightening. And it is similar to him playing at right midfield. The way I was surprised how high our wing backs were at times, especially against Man City.
His passing seems to have got a little bit better. A little dinky back for Johnny Otto, which was a penalty.
I actually think his distribution isn't too bad. He's crossing. It's just when he does it. So at the end of the first half, he was stood. Then Donker literally stood on the edge of the area with so much time. He just ignored him. But it's just the little things, and if he can get them right, we know. I mean, the Chinese fans loved him. We know he's exciting as a player. I think the people, the Yadars as I'll call them, Tom, it's almost as if they're not patient enough. He's exciting. He gets you off your seat, doesn't he? But
the fullbacks for next season should be Vinagre and Johnny anyway.
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah.
Well, both.
I agree.
Yeah. I think Vinagre's another one.
After that little Maradona pirouette anyway. Even the captaincy.
It's difficult because Doherty hasn't played any sort of part in pre-season. We don't know how.
But this is now the chance to easy man.
Yeah, well, and he'll play on Thursday right wing back when he Traore, and I imagine the week after. So he's got 2 chances in competitive games to try and make his mark.
Even if it's not Traore, stick Johnny there and Vinagre on the left.
Yeah.
Everyone's you did agenda against Doherty and stuff. I don't know.
I think we've got to cash in on him.
Just get rid of him now. We've got alright, he's injured, but this is the best he's ever going to play. And it sounds horrible, and I know you're going to get stick for it, but now, like I said, now is a chance to cash in. Because if he has a drab season next season, or doesn't play as many games, or doesn't pat as many stats, then his valuation, he's probably going to get like 10 million for it.
Go back down to 75k.
I actually think his injury is a little bit worse than what has been reported as well.
It must be.
Because I don't think he might not be there. He'll be there, but he might not play the first game of the season. He's not going to have had a pre-season anyway, is he? So
I don't know whether that's a bad thing necessarily, because he's played so much football in the last 2 seasons.
Shagged in it.
But he needs a bit of a rest.
But it sounds like Adama. I mean, it's not been a failure this pre-season tour for him so far. No. I think it sounds like it might be him and Doc on the right and Johnny and Vinagre on the left as the options this season. So, especially with the way our targets seem to be going, we haven't really been linked with any wing backs as such either. So.
That's a surprise though. I did think that we would be. I thought we would sign a full-back.
I think they would. If they wouldn't have thought that Adama had adapted as well as he could have. I think if it was like there's no way it's going to happen, they would have brought one in. But now they've got that option.
So far so good. Obviously now it's the first time that we spoke since the draw as well for the Europa League. So we're playing Northern Irish Crusaders. Crusaders. Should be a straightforward victory, shouldn't it?
They're not even a professional team, are they? I don't think they're not a fully professional team.
No. I think their record, the furthest they've got is to this point in the Europa League in the last number of years. I think they lost out to Fulham a few years ago when Hodgson was in charge.
Let's not take the piss here.
They beat someone quite big a couple of years ago. I want to say it was like Besiktas or something like that, or they came up against it. They definitely got decent wins
against Besiktas.
Yeah, I can't remember. But or they got knocked out, but they beat someone the round before. But I mean, obviously at Molineux this coming week, and then at their place the week after. I mean, team wise, you reckon he's going to start a strong team for those
I'd go full first team strength, give him an absolute pumping.
The same,
and then you haven't got to really worry about the second leg, have you?
Second leg.
The same 11 as
strongest 11 we can pick, which we've only got 1 11 at the minute.
Yeah.
So.
I think they might play the strongest team both legs, just because it's pre-season. I doubt they're going to have a game between the Thursdays, so you may as well give them another 90 minutes run out the following Thursday, because there won't be another game until the
What
Thursday
round did
after.
Burnley go out in last season? Was the one after this?
No, it's the playoff round. They got to the
Miranda
very end.
masterclass.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
They don't have to play that, do we? Because AC Milan.
Yeah, we do,
Yeah,
but we're
we
seeded.
just seeded now.
Oh, seeded, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. So, yeah, I think you are right. We haven't got any friendlies unless they're going to be behind closed doors again. So, you know, you're probably right. He's going to play this strong team, or at least rotate it maybe.
I can't see why they would have a friendly in between anyway, because the squad's so small. They don't want to risk picking up any injuries.
I mean, they're travelling back as of today. And then they're obviously it's going to be a couple of days back at training. I don't know if he probably will chuck them back in training tomorrow. But you know they've only got a couple of days back and they're straight into first team.
I think he's quite good in the sense that the teams the playing aren't going to be great to run out, but it's also competitive, so the intensity is still going to be high. So I don't see how anything but good can come of it unless they beat us, which they won't.
You hope.
I think that I think we only usually play 4 or 5 friendlies in pre-season anyway. We've played 4 games that we know about, definitely. There may have been one more. And the sort of stuff that they were putting on Instagram yesterday in the story seems as if that's pre-season done, and now competitive football is starting on Thursday. So I think it would be, you know.
But again, even the games against United, Newcastle United and Man City, like Premier League teams. You normally go to places like small clubs like Walsall, don't you?
Or Stoke.
Yeah. or
the Villa.
City, Birmingham City. Basically. It's.
Yeah, but obviously they've released the teams for because there's another draw tomorrow as well, which is just after we record this podcast. So there's a couple of teams in there, some decent quality of teams. Obviously, probably not quite on the level of Wolves at the moment, but still teams that could possibly cause us a couple of upsets.
If they knock us out.
Rangers are in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I really don't want Rangers.
I think Rangers. There's FC DAC or DAC or whatever. Where obviously Conor Ronan, Christian Herc was at last year. Daniel Sosker, I think his name is, from the under-23s is there as well. Whether those two can play, I don't know.
Not if on loan from Wolves, surely not.
Well, I don't know, because in European competition it's a bit different.
James Rodriguez played for Bayern against Real Madrid, didn't he?
Kingsley Coman as well a few years ago. It depends if there's a clause or whatever in there, but
I don't think Wolves would have known that they were in Europe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but there's some more exotic destinations that we could possibly get, Cypresses and so on. So
I just want the worst team possible. I just want to get through the group stages.
Yeah,
I don't Rangers because we beat them at Molineux, but you never know at the Ibrox, do you? No. Just never know.
That Morelos as well, the bulldog up top.
He gets sent off.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's have predictions now. Actually, pre-season Europa League prediction. Tom, how far do you reckon we can get?
I want first goal scorers and score
for every single game.
Group stage prediction.
Considering we don't know the opponent of the next game.
I think we'll last 16.
Last 16. No.
Yeah, last 16. I'd say we'll get in the group stages. Maybe get to a quarter final. So last 8.
I'd like that as well. I'll back that as well, because obviously at that point that's when you get in the Champions League teams dropping and you can get anyone, can't you? Really, from there.
There's a last 32, isn't there? Not like the Champions League when it's last 16 straight away. So it'd be one knockout game and then. But we saw. I mean, if Arsenal and Chelsea get to the final, I think anything's.
They're beatable. I mean, Wolves.
Yeah.
We didn't lose to either of them last season, did we?
No.
No, exactly. Yeah. So you never know, do you?
It's on.
Yeah. Bring it on, Gdansk. Come on, the boys. Yeah.
What do you think the score will be against Crusaders?
5-0 at least.
First goal scorer?
Johnny.
Yeah, I think over the 2 legs it'll be something like 6 or 7 nil.
I reckon we'll put 6 past them at Molineux.
Do you reckon Ruddy will play on Thursday?
I hope not.
I think he will because Patricio played 90 yesterday.
Well, I thought that as well, but then I thought, I know. They're probably expecting, or Rudy's probably expecting to play all the Europa League games, but I actually wouldn't mind Rudy just being the number 1 this season.
Well, no, and I think when it comes to the group stage, it will be Patricio. So I think now is the time for it. Might be Ruddy in the first leg, Norris in the second leg. I think
can't be asked his sentiment. You've got to play in the cup because Ruddy really cost us the FA Cup.
Well, that's it. Watching that game yesterday, that should have been the FA Cup final, really. And if Patricio would have been in goal for that, like for extra time.
Yeah, but does Patricio pat people on the back and say good game? No, he doesn't.
But Ruddy could have done that if Patricio would have been in goal.
Yeah. Well, let's move on now. Obviously, we've had the Europa League chat. Let's talk about what else has been going on over summer. Laurie Dalrymple, bit of a shock exit at the time. I don't think anyone expected it apart from, what was his name on Twitter? Paul or whatever it was.
Paul and then a load of numbers.
Yeah.
I heard about it an hour before it happened as well, but I mean...
He's in the know.
I'm not Tom.
That's funny, because he put it in the group chat. So. I knew 7 weeks. We all it was just a bit busy and also.
But what...
I was at work.
What do you think though, Tom? Because obviously, everyone can speculate, and obviously we've all probably had messages of people, it's because of this, it's because of that.
Let's speculate. What have you heard? He's not going to be listening.
No, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything as to why, but I just think that when, if you remember when Fosun came in, they wanted to keep Moxie for 3 months, 4 months as a transition. He didn't want to do that, so they promoted from within. He's not a managing director by trade, is he? He's a commercial manager, something like that, commercial director. So they had somebody who was currently at the club to see over that transition, and then because he became so popular in that promotion season and last season, they probably thought, well, we'll just keep him for the fans. But now they're looking at the next level, and either Jeff Shee's going to do it, because I don't think he does an awful lot, does he, from day to day, Jeff Shee?
He's always at the training ground, he's just chilling.
Yeah, so he might do most of it anyway. Dalrymple was all sort of commercial side and marketing. He wasn't bringing in players, was he? That was Thelwell's job.
Yeah, really. Because that was a lot of, no wonder we're not bringing any players in, but apparently, I think he's to do with the money, he's nothing to do with transfers.
So either Jeff Shee will do it, or they'll sign some, international superstar.
Well, who was the guy, Peter Kenyon, wasn't it, that was linked? He used to be at Chelsea and United, but apparently he's he's a bit dodgy, apparently. And he's not worked in football for about 10 years.
I'd heard, excuse me, it is late, that it either A, spunked all the commercial budget, which would make sense about it because of the shit on the fireworks he had and fucking light shows. It's like the Chemical Brothers at Glastonbury against Liverpool, wasn't it? And the other one was he'd been courting with other clubs, which would explain the guy to leave.
To speak. Because someone put about Villa as well.
Which would explain him going on gardening leave.
Yeah, it's. I heard apparently they just overspent ridiculously on budgets. That's what I heard.
If you look at an MD at Wolves, you're probably looking at salary of up to 160,000, probably more for size of club plus benefits.
I bet he wasn't getting that much, surely not.
Yeah.
You think?
You're talking about a year?
Yeah. A salary for an MD.
A lot more than that.
No, I don't think so. Plus benefits, you'd have a lot of benefits. Club med whenever he wanted.
Well, we know that.
So perhaps they just think they can cut down and not have him, and Jeff Shee can do it. But I've always felt that he didn't really make any decisions anyway, and it was Fosun making decisions, but he was the spokesperson because he was that mediator between the fans and the club who could communicate well that Jeff Shee can't.
He was a bit of a second-hand car salesman to me. Is what he came across as. He can talk the talk. He can make Wolves seem.
Well, this is another thing. I was speaking to someone about it. Now, obviously, Laurie was this sort of person, or at least it came across that he was the one that was pushing the safe rail standing and stuff, and pushing the idea of Molineux. Now that he's gone, what do you think about the future plans for Molineux? Because
I spoke about this a week or so ago on my own YouTube channel. It's called The Old Golden Black.
We said it
but it was Laurie Dalrymple didn't do those sketches of Molineux by himself and say, right, that's what we're having. The board would have sat down and spent ages and ages deciding on whether or not to say Molineux. It wasn't Dalrymple.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine them being like, just like Laurie, shut up, you knobby.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He didn't sit there with his crayons.
Which one's the one, the picture of
How many tears you want on this one? Just the one behind the goal.
Yeah.
The iPad.
The ones that recently come out
on
at
Google
the
SketchUp.
they were definitely paid for professional people.
Would you not think that stadium could be put anywhere though? Or do you think
the old Goodyear side?
Yeah.
No, I think
because
they'll stay at Molineux.
You see the recent plans as well of I was going to say the hotel and stuff idea that they wanted to put on one of the car parks and stuff just their idea of things. Surely they're gonna take over that area of the town, aren't they?
Well, they said they wanted the stadium to be multifunctional, something that people could go to every day of the week.
I can't understand why because obviously there's always this argument: the council this, council that. Surely the council are going to back it, or at least give them
the council own the stadium, didn't they?
Give us this amount of money, and then and you can do whatever you want. But like, no disrespect to any businesses around there, but the club is one of the only things bringing people into the city centre at the moment.
If you think now with European football, you're going to have 2,000 people every Thursday or every other Thursday coming into the town and putting money in. They wouldn't do well. Wolves is unique in that the stadium's in the middle of the town. There's very few big teams where that's the case, and the council know that, and they don't want 30,000 people going to Stafford, to the I-54 or whatever it's going to be, or Goodyear, whatever. They want to keep them in the town. I don't think the council do own the ground. I think Morgan bought the lease.
999 years.
But that's Morgan on that. Wolves own.
I think he sold it to the council. I think. I'm sure the council have got something to do.
I thought
he bought it
from I thought he bought it from the council. But
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Wolves will stay at Molineux. I think because you hear so much about the history of the club and all this sort of stuff, and it all is from Molineux, and it's more than just a football stadium as well. Like we saw with Rod Stewart the other week. I snuck into that, by the way.
Did you? Yeah. Get in there, Tom.
I was waiting until it started and then just
walk in. No one on there. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm more disappointed that they let you in, or you went to watch fucking Rod Stewart.
I was really, really, really bored.
On your own?
Yeah. I was wearing a tracksuit, just,
Fucking hell, Rose.
Before you were there? That's brilliant, that is.
And that's the end of the show?
Yeah. I'll be locked up next time.
Bird Stadium back.
Yeah. I mean, the plans that they've got there, obviously, surely it's going to see the likes of, we talk about this, probably I think someone said it to us every day for the last 6 years, that Asda's going to go eventually and stuff like that.
I've heard that they've bought the Asda. Aisle 7 and 8 they've got.
They keep telling me.
Aisle 7 and 8. But then we're on about building a bridge from like the train station to the ground.
That needs to
That is actually happening.
That's been rumoured for nearly 10 years now. Because I'm sure Morgan drew up plans for that, but it needs to happen because you're coming back into the town after a game is a nightmare through the subway.
It's good. Yeah, it's going to be. If it goes, I mean, it's probably going to take 10, 15 years. I mean, we'll probably be on podcast 2,500 before it happens. But
hopefully we'll be on the med somewhere, not doing fucking podcast.
But it's going to be. It's going to be special if it all comes off, and it really is.
And they wouldn't be investing all this money into Molineux to move away from it. So
the football club's the only thing in Wolverhampton at the minute that's actually thriving.
Correct, yeah.
Town centre's an absolute shithole. So many shops closing.
They spent millions on that Devon.
It wasn't open
there. Yeah. Apparently they used to make more in the Tesco Express downstairs daily than it would make there. Honest to God, because everyone would go there for their meal deal. But they've got they're on about the training ground as well, because they're on about an academy stadium.
Well, because I work on Paget Road.
They've got to buy that.
The college is up for sale now, I think, and
they're on about housing, but it'd be a no-brainer for Wolves. It's a big enough site to build something there. Because they're on about the academy stadium as well, aren't they?
The area between that and Compton, there's only a little bit of a field, which I'm sure that they could acquire from the school that's there, and then you've got acres and acres and acres.
I actually don't know who owns that field.
That's owned by the school.
St Edmunds or St Peters. Because I don't think I never did any PE there.
We used to play football.
Yeah. I never did any PE.
Yeah, never did really. But it's a big site, and as you say, they're on about. Apparently, the training ground now is just too small for everybody that's there. They've got having the academies play there. The Wolves women are allowed to train there now as well. They're on about having an academy stadium, which I think is a good idea in the long run anyway. Yeah. So I think that's
playing at New Books Head.
Yeah. What's this? They'll get more people to academy games then. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just as you say, to walk across the road. It's the main training ground then.
And it's not the same as Man City because that's
we're
all within the same sort of campus, but you're within a 5-minute minibus drive to the stadium and stuff. You want to keep everything fairly close together.
Yeah. How far is Compton from Molineux?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Is it?
It's just up. towards Chapel Ash, and you just turn left and basically there. So
I don't know the area, but I want one.
yeah, but it's ideal. I think they're on about housing and stuff, but I saw the article and it wasn't directly linked to Wolves, but I thought like somebody had said about the academy and needing to grow and stuff like that. It's just a no-brainer, surely. Unless they're moving the training ground, which they're obviously not going to do because they spent how much on that just a short time ago.
Yeah, well, there is plenty of space around there.
Yeah.
Even if but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well.
So you got something to say?
No, I don't.
Before we move on to the questions, anyway, we'll talk about the new kits as well. Obviously, I've got the old black one on here. Bit of controversy about the home one when it first came out.
I thought it looked really smart the first time I saw it, so bought it, and then when it came, I realised there was all the dots all over.
Oh, did you not know the dots were on it?
Because I looked at it on the screen and it looked like a retro 80s sort of shit with a little collar like that. I thought it looks really smart, but then. No, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Glad I spent 55 quid on that.
Scandalous. And obviously the away kit, which was leaked.
Yeah.
It's a nice little number.
Although the lines look really yellow.
Yeah, they're not the same colour as it.
You print it on the rubbing your nipples and stuff.
The badges.
Yeah.
That's the same on the home.
And then
That's nice, I like that.
Yeah, they've only gone on release
as well.
Yeah, cheers. And they've gone on release the Asia Trophy Fosun style now, which I think
the unlimited edition.
Yeah.
They'll sell out and then bring it back out again. But yeah, I think the thing I've got with the dots. Have you seen the kids' kits?
No.
They're like because obviously on a kit of this size, you've got the dots of a size and stuff. On a kids kit, the dots are the exact same size.
Oh god.
So you've got like I looked at it. People put pictures on Twitter and I thought that's a different kit. But what they've done, they've just not shrunk it down. They've just kept the the pattern same
twister on the
left hand, right nipple. Right, we'll move on to the questions now. So big thanks to everyone on Twitter because we had quite a large number of questions.
Everyone's missed us, it's quite nice.
Yeah. Matt, we'll start with your tweet because you put one up.
Okay,
The old Golden Black said, "What biscuits did you get?" Well, we've actually got them here.
What are these?
I bought them.
What are these?
Foxy's double choc layers or
Crunch, something like that. I mean, they're okay. So what do you think?
Taste test.
50p from Tesco.
ASMR down the mic.
Yeah, I mean, you can taste the sugar, but in terms of solidity and texture, I don't think you can go much wrong.
We turn it into a fancast.
Yeah. Have you watched the Blue Van Man?
What's that?
He just every single video he's like tasting a different food and he just gives his thoughts on it. He's got about 60k subs.
The food review club on Facebook.
No.
Some fat bastard that goes to like loads of takeaways. But never gives a bad review because obviously giving the food for free. They're all like pooing out the window saying, if he says that sausage is fucking shit, I'm going to kill him.
Not the chicken connoisseur.
We're not throwing into the fancast.
Anthony is obsessed with... Anthony said, when are you signing, Matt? He's asked that
What is this rumour on some walls?
I think they must have seen your skills compilation.
Once my work permit goes through because I'm actually Bolivian.
Bearto, he says, in the next 3 years, providing we are challenging regularly for a top 6 place, which of the current players do you reckon will improve enough to still be part of the squad?
In the next 3 years?
So I think Patricio, if he's not number one, in the next 3 years.
Finished.
35.
Is that cup, mate?
That could be the end of his career.
He's cheek, man. That'd be massive, wouldn't it? I think, yeah, you're right. Bolly possibly would be a squad member. Vinagre, Neves,
Martinho.
He'll be retired. He'll be
good.
Qatar,
Shanghai
China.
Shenhua,
Yeah. And Jota.
I don't think it's a case of who's going to improve to stay with us from the
Just
younger
who's
players.
gonna
It's going to be who we're going to be able to keep hold of.
Yeah.
Jota and Neves would undoubtedly be one of two of the top players in the world, I think.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Say if we played sort of the quality of football that we did and stuff, but we just didn't quite get the look and finished a few places lower and maybe like mid-table, lower, higher. You know what I mean, like around 10th or whatever. Do you think? I was trying to say higher, lower table. It didn't really make sense.
10th.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think it would have been harder for us to keep any of the players that we've got currently? Or do you think more clubs would have come in? Or
There haven't been any firm rumours of anybody interested in our players, have there? Really? I think never. If we'd have got relegated or something, then
That'd have felt
Oh
that.
yeah.
I think if we'd have finished 10th, I think we'd have been in the same situation. I think
Okay.
they'd have all sort of stayed here because
Yeah.
we were only 1 or 2 games away from that happening anyway. Really.
Cameron Bazright says, who has been the best signing under the Fosun regime?
Jota.
Ryan Bennett.
João Teixeira. Jota.
Ola John.
Ola John. Silvio. Come on.
Silvio's going
There's
to
got to
be
be
well
one more, isn't
beaten.
there? Paul Gladden.
Paul Gladden, yeah. He's obvious.
Who else have you signed?
He's obvious.
I'm going to go a little bit left
I might
field
do
here.
that. That's a good video. Worst 11 of the Fosun regime.
Oh no, that's fucking...
It's whoever we signed in 2016.
HRH all over.
Nah.
Now this guy, how is he a footballer? Held the cost down.
The most consistent would be, I think, Willy Bolly. I think is probably the best.
I think that's a good. Yeah, it's a good shout. He'd been brilliant in Asia as well. He was very good. Any more?
Just Jota for me. I think he's world
Jota.
class.
Yeah. Can you see anyone else leaving on a loan or permanent move this window? If so, who? Can't see anyone. Miranda. Yeah, the obvious ones. I don't think any key players.
They'll trim
stay.
all them. Like, they'll all go and.
Bonatini as well.
Yeah.
He's training with the under 23s in Spain, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can't see any stars going. As well.
There's just looking lettuce in Spain.
Is Conor Ronan destined to be a forgotten talent, or does he deserve a chance to prove himself at a senior level, get some Europa League minutes, for example? Would you like to see him play for the first team at some point?
He'll play against us and score a hat-trick for FC.
For Dak.
I tell you.
I was surprised that he got loaned out again, or obviously he signed a new contract, so I don't know if that's actually to keep him or just add value on him over time. But
yeah.
There must be something there. Otherwise, they'd have just let him go like they're doing with all these other younger players. I liked him when he played
City
2
had a
or
good
3 years
game.
ago.
If he can get in a team and Bright can't, then it's a joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
Be good, Bright. After year 3 of Fosun, realistically, where do you see us in year 5, year 7 and year 10 before GCSEs?
So what are we saying? So 5 years from now, 7 years from now, or
I'd say now, in 2 years' time,
Okay, right, okay.
4 years' time and 7 years' time. Whatever.
Well, they want to win the league in year 7, don't they? They've said that.
So what's that, 4 years' time?
Yeah.
That's a bit tight, isn't it? That?
I-
Do you think that's doable?
I think they'll win it before then.
In the next 4 years?
Because the only real the only real competition, not the only real competition this year. I think we'll genuinely push for top 4 because Chelsea and Arsenal are absolute shambles.
We've got
United,
12 players.
It's a man. We've got 12 very
We
good
still
players.
could yeah.
So I think we could genuinely challenge for top 4. I'm not saying they would get it, but I think we could. Then Pep is not going to stay at Man City forever. He'll go after he wins one more title, or if they win the Champions League.
Well, he
he'll
said,
go.
I am so happy. I am so happy.
He knows what to say. He nearly got to Juventus, didn't he?
Yeah.
He will go. Liverpool as well. Klopp is, I think, I don't rate him much. I know he's just won the Champions League, but I think that's down to having Salah and Van Dijk. I think if Salah and Van Dijk get their heads turned by Real Madrid and Barcelona, that team falls apart. I think that we are growing and getting stronger, and this young team are all going to come into their prime in the next 2 or 3 years. I think that winning the Premier League in year 7 is, I think it's doable.
How about, what was your one, year 10?
Year 10,
In world domination by then.
Yeah, we were playing games on Jupiter by then,
yeah,
shouldn't we?
the ultimate champions of the universe.
That's it.
I think we could just consistently being in finals and winning competitions by year 10.
I think that my expectations are lower because I don't think they could be any higher than that. I think by year 5 we'll be Europa League regulars. I think we'll
Or
be
European competition regulars.
regulars. And by year 7 we'd have won a domestic cup,
We'll do that soon.
league and FA, and I think by year 10
I hope we do. I don't want to travel Wembley too often now because
Shit,
I hate
I
getting.
hate it.
I hate getting to Wembley.
and I think by year 10 we win the league, not win the Champions League, win the league. 10 years top.
I think
10 years from now.
you only need to listen to Fosun and what they want to know what the plan is, whether or not it'll happen. I think that's.
Do you think Nuno will stay till can you ever see him leave?
Have you seen that photo of him and Guanchan?
Yeah, with his big grin.
Oh yeah.
It's like the best mates at school,
yeah.
and they'll just send each other in the boozer.
I honestly, this summer has made me think that Nuno and Neves and Jota are here for the for the long run. Jota talks about how he manages himself on Football Manager for his whole career and stuff like that.
I want to start a network save with him.
I think they're here until everything's achieved, and then when they are champions of whatever, they might start to move on there. But I think they're here for 10 years.
Your boy Reese, he goes, who do you think will be our Europa League starting right back? And how many and who do you think the signings will be before the transfer window ends? I mean, that one's a bit difficult. Obviously, the ones that have been linked with Diaz and Catrone, because someone's just commented and told me off. It's 3 syllables.
It's Catrone.
Yeah. It's because
Really?
Yeah. I think those two, obviously, and we don't know. I'd assume maybe one more may come in.
Well,
but starting right back.
Adama.
Initially,
You
try
don't.
away, but then I think it depends on the level of opposition we were to get later on in the tournament.
In terms of signings, I know we're like, oh, you're not in IT came literally just being relayed what I've been told, and there's 3 medicals next week.
Oh. Who
Did they book a medical in?
Yeah, who tweeted about Audrey's Corrie?
You can't book a medical in, it's not Audrey's salon. That was Stubbsy, wasn't it?
That's what I've been told, and there's no decisions being made until everyone's back from China.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to reword this question slightly because he put, who do you think the top goal scorer will be next season? But he put, who do you think will get, this is from Marshbag, who do you think will get the most goals next season, Jota or Jimenez?
Jota. I'm sticking with my prediction that he's going to be
PFA.
Premier League Player of the Year.
I think young player.
Yeah, well,
I said that pissed up the other night. I went, Bernardo Silva, player of the year, young player, Jota.
Bernardo Silva.
Portuguese duo. Jimenez for me.
I think, yeah, I think.
well,
I think Jota. Yeah.
We'll split the winnings anyway.
This is a different one from James Cartwright. Would you rather eat a whole live mouse once a week for the rest of your life, or have to carry a pet ferret with you at all times, but you can't explain why you have it to anyone?
I wasn't listening to that one.
Sorry, say that again.
Would you rather eat a whole live mouse once a week, or have to carry a pet ferret with you at all times, but you can't tell anyone why you've got it? What?
Is everything alright at home, James?
Yeah. I refuse to.
I quite like ferrets, so it'd be a ferret for me.
You just carry a ferret around? I don't know, man.
It's a scarf.
I think I'd eat a mouse still. As long as I don't get ill.
You didn't have to
Live mouse.
I don't think as long as I
You
didn't
just
get ill.
sit there and it's running around your plate eating.
Yeah,
I think
around after a
Yeah,
couple of bites, would it?
uh,
And it doesn't say the ferret has to be alive either. So you literally have a fucking stuffed ferret in your bag. It might smell a little bit, but
We'll
just
turn
say,
into the fan casting.
Yeah.
we need to pack that in.
I think it's teacher or teacher Maxime. Greetings from France.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Salut.
Comment ça?
Comme
Et
ça.
toi?
Do we need other tactical formations, i.e., more offensive ones, or do you reckon we'll still be able to break a low blocks and bag comfortable amount of goals? I think it means are we able to break down teams that sit deep and stuff. If so, what assets do we currently have that would allow us? Sorry, I should have been in charge.
This question's actually only French.
If so, what assets do we currently have that would allow us being offensively incisive? I think basically means, do you think we need to change formation to break down lower teams?
No, I think we need to be more fluid, and people need to. I remember speaking last time about Dendoncker becoming our Busquets and moving into midfield, and then I think you could have Gibbs White further forward and things like that. I think they are starting to look a little bit more like we saw against Newcastle. Not that they would have sat back in a game like that.
It's very disciplined. It's very rigid, isn't it? And against the lesser teams, you don't need to be as rigid. A little probably turgid. The word.
Yeah. We've
so
got to learn to be better against those teams, because otherwise we'll.
It's that midfield three doesn't need to be a flat 3 or a 1 and a 2. It should be a 2 then a 1 against the lesser teams.
Yeah.
This one's from Andy,
friend of the show.
Friend of the podcast. Which under 18/under 23 player or players stood out for you in China?
I can't honestly say because I didn't watch enough of it, but I know that they rate that Taylor Perry. You're going to call him Taylor Terry. Is there a Terry?
Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor. Those two.
Timmy Turner.
Terry Tibbs.
Between those two.
Talk to me.
That Dion Sanderson as well. That was quite
He did
good
really well.
midfield.
Right wing back. Yeah,
Everyone's saying Dion Sanderson.
Yeah.
Sanderson.
Liam Bagnall asks, are we going to have fan cams after every game this year? It's too difficult, isn't it? Well, the night games as well.
For me. Home games that
in daytime.
Yeah, we'll do them. If there's a need for
Didn't we do a fan cam the first year we did it in the night and you literally couldn't see anyone?
Yeah.
I watched it back the other day. I said, why did we record this? What is this?
The ones that do it, like Arsenal Fan TV,
They
have
got the flipping lighting and all
rigging
sorts.
whatever,
Yeah.
don't they?
I mean, we'll do it when we can, Liam. When we can. Josh says, if we were to sell all of our players right now, how much money do you think we'd get?
$1 billion.
Ruddy, 5 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's in today's market. You never know, do you, Matt?
You know,
Yeah,
sorry.
distracted.
No,
We've
I've just got a
question.
couple of questions.
Go on.
Yeah, just,
Sorry, Josh, by the way.
No, sorry. What was the question? If you sold all, loads of money. Sorry. This one's from Tom Wooding,
Friend of the podcast.
friend of the show, friend of
Is
Big
he the
Tom.
really tall one?
He's the quite a large gentleman.
6'9".
He's he doesn't tell you enough. He's tall though. Will Raoul and Co, which I'd imagine he's wrong his teammates.
Can you read what he said first?
Announce Ruben Diaz.
He says fuck questions and out Ruben Diaz.
Should we do HRH? You know, actually announce it. Yeah.
Just
like a concept.
the ball the ground. Silly sorry. Will Raoul and Co have enough rest before the season starts?
Raul will, because I don't think he'll play all the game or won't play much minutes of the Crusaders game. Or if he does start, he'll be subbed off within 45 to 60 minutes.
By Co, he means Sace, doesn't he? He's the only other one that's away.
He ain't going to break. No disrespect to Romain. I don't think he's going to break him.
I'm sure he's
He's
going to
gonna-
show off.
Yeah.
You never
Look at
know.
his little sunglasses
Yeah.
and his little bag. He'd be really annoyed.
I-
Raul, I think he needs
They're
to
going
get
to
a bit more
flipping
rest.
protect him, aren't they?
Because he played last summer and he flogged all through the season, or last season. Really good Gold Cup or whatever it's called, and then 1 week off before coming back. I think he needs to be protected a little bit.
It's not now. It's going to be the problem. It's going to be the latter end of the season.
Yeah,
He's going to be absolutely shagged come February.
we saw that, didn't we, last year? March onwards, he was poor. Oh, not poor, average at best. He scored 1 goal, didn't he, after the FA Cup semi-final?
Next question. Josh says, if you could take one player from our rivals, who would it be?
What do you mean, right? Oh,
Let's
as
say...
in like Everton, West Ham.
let's say local. Let's say Albion,
Nobody there.
Blues or Villa.
Ah, come on. Right, pick one from each team. Forget
I
Walsall.
don't know any Albion players. Rondon?
He's gone.
Gone to China.
Ron gone.
They just signed Zahor. Zahori.
I don't know about the Albion.
I don't know who plays for Albion these days.
Shay Adams, I'd have taken, but he's gone.
They're going to win the Premier League next season.
Yeah, they are.
Southampton. Is it
You
that?
see that?
I think the Villa probably
Green-
McGinn.
Grealish, I'd take.
I'd take McGinn over Grealish, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
he would warm that bench lovely.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get in a team.
Could you imagine our team with Grealish? Still the midfield three, Matinho, Dendoncker and Evans.
You do.
You don't.
I can't believe we spent £25 million on Tyrone Mings. He's
I know.
fucking dreadful.
He put a great through ball for Jota though, didn't he? Christmas time. Class.
Finished.
Was it literally an early Christmas present?
He was one of the worst players I saw at Molyneux last season. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm obsessed. Yeah, man.
I know. How many signings do we need? What position of them and who would you want? I mean, that was Amari, but
Is that in French as well?
yeah, I mean...
Oh, I quite like him.
yeah.
He's
So
this is
Amari-
Lamar's brother.
Carly.
Yeah.
We're interested in his brother.
Lamar.
Yeah.
Thomas Lamar. Yeah, in an ideal world, how many players now? We've got a couple of weeks left.
If we didn't sign anybody, I wouldn't be too upset. Genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine. I think.
Well, I said that, like, the actual team, what we've got there is good.
Yeah.
It's just
we
adding
will.
depth
We
to
will
it.
sign somebody.
Yeah.
But if the season started tomorrow, I'd be happy with what we've got.
Pant weathering.
Yeah.
How many biscuits you having?
This is my second one on the podcast.
No.
I think we'll sign. We'll sign a defender and a striker.
I want 3 minimum. Which is funny because we've got 3 medicals booked in next week. So.
What was it?
No, I think
At
It's
Audrey's,
not
at Audrey's fitness salon.
I've heard Nuno's had a bit of a stomach bug, so that's probably what it is. No, I think 3. I'd like a central midfielder. I'd like a centre half. And I'd like a striker.
I mean, obviously, you guys carry on talking.
It's almost as if we can't do it without
I
Dave.
know.
No, I think we need
Talk over each
Ruben
other.
Diaz would be nice. Obviously, Catrone. as well. He's obviously the other one linked to.
Yeah, it's good rolling.
Some of them shouts are fucking dreadful.
I saw some of the quote tweets and I was there like, these are crap.
This is amazing.
Just do the old, or if you shit, you sing when the ball's hits your head, you sat on his head, or if he scores, it's a pretty good bet. On about whip marines and all sorts.
Like,
what they're on about.
Marines and like he drinks pasta and wine. Well,
Drinks pasta.
Drinks wine and eats pasta. It's like,
Whips his pasta.
fucking hell, Jesus. Awful. I'd like a central midfielder as well. Someone who can play a little bit further forward. Because we haven't got anyone. We've got Morgan, like I said, but Morgan.
Den Donker is always arriving late. He's the new.
He's got an engine on him now.
Yeah, but he's
you
not.
Get his stamina up top. I mean,
He's
I know.
probably
I know what everyone's on about Tillemans, and obviously he's a great signing for Leicester. But outside of that, like I think like Den Donker is a similar sort of thing for us. Like
I think
he came in late. When did our form sort of get back on top? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
Chelsea game, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we just need someone who can play that number 10 against the smaller teams, who's got that unlocking factor, is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Who can just, that line between midfield and defence, get in those little pockets and make things happen. Because we don't really get a midfielder, do we? Who's like on the edge of the area and obviously slipping people in.
I think Moutinho could do
He
that.
could do it,
If we
but-
play Den Donker and Neves as the two anchors, and then he can go a bit further.
What do you call them?
What do you boys think of for the future of Saïs as well? Because where does he fit in now? We signed another centre back. We don't need him there.
Yeah.
We signed another. If you are on about another midfielder, but even a central midfield in general, I don't think.
He's good to have in the squad because he's versatile.
That's what
they
said.
That's what they keep saying. But for his own career, he needs to nail down a position and say, right, this is where I play now. And
You reckon he'll do a Scott Goldborn and just turn into a model instead?
Probably not with that hairline.
Everyone just turned into to the end of season dinner in normal suits, and he comes in some Versace glitz or whatever it was.
He's a donut though, and that's why.
What is that? Yeah.
I think he could go like anyone under the bottom 12, I think.
Bottom half, I think. Yeah.
Bottom 8, sorry. And
I think he's better than that. I think he's better than that.
No, but I meant play consistently.
Where though? Oh, like centre mid.
Anyone in the bottom 8.
Six.
I think he's proved he's a very, very good player. And as a defender, ball playing defender, I think he's quite good.
Mm.
He's a bit weak, don't he, for centre half? Yes, he is.
He's alright against Chelsea, but then he's like he has 1 in 2 or 3
Yeah,
games.
he's always got a bollock in him, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the players that are linked so far, let's say obviously Diaz and Catrone those two, you think are good players to sign if they both came?
Look, the Catrone deal makes sense just because he's young. He's not getting the game times onto AC Milan. He's probably going to get the same at Wolves, probably more so. Got a great goal scoring record, considering most of them are off the bench, and the fees about 15-16 million. So it's a no-brainer.
From what I read, it's more that AC Milan need to raise
money.
funds, and there's FFP and
They're trying to sign Correa, but there was interest from Wolves. You see how much they want for him?
Well, apparently,
absolutely
they
ridiculous.
said today that he's going for about 35 to them.
Oh,
Because Silva's going to Monaco, but I think they still need to sell. You can't sell one and then bring one in and still not,
I think
it's
it all.
pass.
Wolves said they were confident of doing a deal, so and I believe that they wouldn't come out and tell journalists they were confident if they've not already spoken
I think
with the player.
Express and Star would be like mega careful with reporting anything if they're not sure on it anyway.
Because he said, look, the Wolves are confident of landing, and then that dickhead from Calcio,
Mercato, or
something like that, saying like he doesn't want to move to Wolves, he wants. Well, like
I think that's just to get a bit more money or just to drag it along.
What did he say? Wanted like a bigger club or a better club or something?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, like you're sitting on the bench at AC Milan. We're in Europe, AC Milan aren't. Obviously they're huge. You're not.
They're not big anymore.
Who's the Polish fella they got up front? Piatek. He's banging them in. Yeah. So you'd understand him saying it, but this is a very good opportunity for him to play in the Europa League and to make that. Who knows? He could come to us and be absolutely unbelievable, and then he goes to City.
I think he'll get value on him regardless.
Yeah. Is there a loan?
No, they won't transfer. 50, I think it's like 16 million. The 22-23 has been branded about apparently isn't right.
That's the only thing that makes me doubt that the deal is true, because I don't think Wolves would spend that amount of money straight off on somebody that they haven't tried. The only time that has happened is Moutinho, Patricio.
Neves.
I think that's it. Neves. I think everybody else they've loaned, haven't they? Pretty much.
I think if you're spending 15 to 16 million pound on a striker who's got a good goal scoring record, he's 20.
21. Yeah,
He's
21.
played for Italy already, and he's also got a future stars card on FIFA, which is a big selling point. I think
Hey, on my walls, have you just been sold to Man U for 75 million?
I think that's a good fee. And if it doesn't work out, you're still going to sell him on for 9 10 million.
You know, someone put it. No, I don't want to sign him. Someone put why? Like this was when it first came out. He's Italian. I thought, what's that? Like,
We're massive in Italy.
Only Zola has been any good in the Prem. Who's Italian? I was there like, good analogy, mate. Good analogy.
Oh Christ!
Wolves fan base.
I think the Diaz thing would be absolutely insane. Then.
Yeah.
I've only seen a 4-minute YouTube clip of him, but he looks.
Was there any dubstep behind it?
Yeah, of course there was.
Of course, that's when you
He
know.
was. He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks like a like Bolly times 10, like bringing the ball out of defence and
White Bolly.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Imagine them two.
White Bolly.
Them two either side of Connor Cody. Oh, what do you think of Cody as well?
Cody won't be playing much. If you've got Bolly and Diaz in between Connor Cody, you think something's
I
wrong.
think that rolls for him though, isn't it, man? He actually...
All his interviews are like, I don't really do much, I just stand there.
Yeah. We're going to
He got booked, didn't he, yesterday as well?
Did he?
He got booked in a pre-season friendly.
I think we'll evolve past Connor Cody at some point this season. I think he'll end up coming out of the team.
Since
I keep saying that, but
since I had that chat with him at the end of the season, dinner at Wars, he was just such a nice fella. Honest to God, he's such
Looking
a...
well. Looking well, Matt.
He definitely didn't say that. 15 points down. Dave was at the table, like, you alright? Like,
yeah.
pissed, mate. His eyes are closed.
2 buckets of Budweiser.
Well, it was telling a little bit as well that he passed the trophy to Neves, or they lifted it together.
Sorry,
I mean,
Obviously means he's going, don't he, mate? Oh, he's off.
No, but I think that Neves might be the captain or
yeah.
at some points next
I
season.
think he was vice captain a couple of years ago, anyway, or last year.
He's captain material anyway. And I still think about that game in Cardiff in the Championship season. He led that
won
team.
it on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Led that team.
Let's talk finally about the fashion show, main topic.
Highlight of the summer, that is.
Highlight the summer.
I just like that the old badge got used quite a lot. The one with
I know, I
Wolverhampton
think
Wanderers.
I thought like surely for like I mean, they probably own it, but it doesn't really make much sense.
I've heard some fella actually created that badge and actually entered it into an express.
Imagine that, you were on about, was it before the podcast, on about a new badge. Imagine if they brought that back. That's proper retro, that one, isn't it?
I really like it.
Yeah.
But,
a bit bulky.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know anything about fashion at all, but it looked...
You're going up, tell me.
Tesco. Yeah, but... I liked like having loads of the old badges and stuff. That looked cool.
I don't. Cool. Accidental partridge.
I watched Judas ask Bully, and they're obviously asking Bully about it.
Such a waste of time that feature, you know.
he didn't have a clue, and then they were asking, and
not really, Bully.
Yeah.
He's sick as shit, and he's ridiculous.
So he was on about Judas asked him about the fashion show, and Bully knew everything about it. It was there like, and apparently they're going to test it in China and then slowly bring it into like the UK market. I thought like it's a different world over there. Like, I don't mean everyone's joking about I'd wear that, but can you see someone with a massive Wolves retro badge on the back of it walking down?
It'd fit me. It all looked massive, didn't it?
It's
people are complaining there's no 3XL shirts this season.
That's
wait until they come over because there's plenty of 3XL.
What's the size? You know, I don't buy football shirts. I don't like them, but I wouldn't get into a 2XL. I don't think.
Oh, you would.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I've never tried it.
What size is yours?
Large, and it.
But that one we played in the mall and you were large and suddenly not.
But they've been washed 30 times, haven't they?
Well, I think that may be all, lads. If there's anything else anyone wants to add.
Cricket, watch cricket.
Cricket World Cup.
Oh,
that was his highlight of the summer. He's not bothered about the Asia Trophy.
No,
I just think the Asia Trophy, just coming off the cricket for a second, sorry. Someone just talking on the podcast.
Talking cricket.
Thanks for the biscuits anyway. Lovely those. I think
There's the door.
I think the tour couldn't have gone better.
No.
I think Fosun would have seen it as a success.
Well, they won the thing.
Yeah.
And they've launched a mega store. And I hope to see more of that mascot at the moment. You know, the cat.
What was that?
With no
see the picture of Wolfie was just in the background, like, well, he wasn't like that, obviously, but yeah, there was a picture of Wolfie.
This is completely That's just reminded me. Have you seen on Twitter the account called Minute Silence Mascot?
Yeah.
It's sort of somber mascots,
The
isn't it?
best thing, because they've got these like birds or whatever with huge grins, and they're like kind of heads down.
The website, you know, Who Ate All the Pies website.
Right.
They started that. That was a feature like years ago, but it's like somber mascots in Minute Silence. This big boiler just
Well, that is all for podcast. Is it number 6? Number 5?
I don't know, mate. It's just
I mean,
been away for a while.
It's been a blur.
The first one of the 1920 season anyway. Hopefully we will be back maybe more regularly. We'll discuss it. But as always, if you're watching on YouTube... Alright, bye.
What the hell?
What's happened there?
I have no idea. Nobody said "Hey Google," did they?
No one said "Hey Google."
That's fine
She's
for my phone.
Fucking hell, get on with it.
She knows we're off. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or whatever, or Spotify, whatever you're on, make sure you leave us a review, 5-star, not 3-star like someone did before.
Can I give you a plug, Tom?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Actually, no. So,
Say goodbye, Tom. Where can people find you?
On YouTube, on The Old Gold and Black.
Twitter and Instagram, mcooperwright.
And you can find me over on Twitter, YouTube, at David.
At HRH.
You do know somehow he'll tweet us and find us.
Oh yeah, I think we should mention him more in future
Yeah.
episodes.
You're a twat.
Going down.
No, to be fair, I actually... I rate what he's doing. He's just a piss boy. Right? Yeah. He's just got everyone on strings, but you're still a twat anyway. So.
Yeah. But until next time, everybody, hopefully you enjoy the game against Crusaders. The Crusaders. And we'll be back just after the start of start of the coming season. Hopefully Wolves have strengthened by then. And we'll see you all next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.